real quick. That's from my Saturday podcast, The Jam. Chris knocks that out for me, the commercials. He's awesome with the commercials when he does them for the drops for the podcast. So it's pretty cool. So we're back live on the sports podcast with IKE. We get it in every Saturday, or every Monday, every Saturday. Every Saturday is The Jam. I still got to do my Bronco trivia. I got a lot of stuff coming up still. We got a little ways to go. Excuse me there, but got me some water. So real quick, we wanted to get into the weekly schedule. And then I think Chris is writing some of the schedule, and the Freaks will be out Friday. Yeah, he wrote, his podcast is on Friday, so I'm going to announce that real quick here. Let me get into the weekly schedule real quick for everybody. That way you could tune in to some of the like I said, the podcasts we have are amazing, and you really want to check out those podcasts because I think you'll have a great time listening to all those podcasts. And I want to give a shout out to all my co-podcasters. You guys are all awesome. Everybody's show is great, and I thank everybody that tunes in with me because you guys are awesome for doing that. Especially you, Chris. You're always here. I appreciate you always being here, Chris. You're awesome. So, real quick, I'm going to run through the weekly schedule that we have. And the schedule is going to be changing over the next couple weeks going into the new year. We have a couple changes, but everything is going to be pretty cool. Everything's working out awesome. So on Monday, you have sports tonight with IKE. And make sure to tune in next week because I'm going to have a special co-host. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. It's a surprise co-host. And I talked about earlier how I feel about the way women are treated as sports announcers and podcasters because it's really upsetting because I think they should be respected just as much as the guys are. And so make sure when you hear women podcasters and sports announcers, make sure and support them because, I believe in them and I think they work hard. So sports Monday with IKE on KBLP. Then Tuesday morning, you have Why the Blues with Cousin Dave. He has an awesome podcast. Make sure that you listen to it. Yeah, Chris, I think that women should get more respect when they podcast or they do sports. This only happens in the sports world. I had a lot of complaints, because I've had women co-hosts. I love having women co-hosts on sports. It don't happen with TWD or any of the other shows, but on my sports shows, I get a lot of flack from people because of having women co-hosts. But I think it's great. I think it's awesome. If they know what they're talking about when it comes to the football game, they should be able to podcast or be sports announcers. Nobody should be able to tell them that they can't, But I had a couple bad comments, so. But I put it out there, if they don't want to listen, they don't have to listen, because I know we have a lot of people that support us, and everything we do. So, but it's cool. But I don't know if you were listening when I was mentioning it earlier. Yeah, as long as they know what they're talking about, as long as they know the game, that's it. That's one thing. That's what I believe in. If a co-host is a woman, she's a woman, and she's my co-host, and she knows what she's talking about as far as the game goes, because all we do is recap and give our opinion. As long as they could do that, they're great, But I got a couple of inboxes, and I gave them my peace of mind. But anyway, so we back to the schedule. Tuesday night is tomorrow night is the season 2 or the season finale part 2 with IKE and Denise Harris. TWD, make sure you tune in. We work awesome together. It's going to be an awesome podcast. We're going to finish out the TWD season for now, and then TWD comes back February 14th, The Walking Dead. So be on the lookout for that. But tomorrow night, what's that? Don't give them much. You need it. What is that for, Chris? I missed that one. Sorry. But make sure to check out Tuesday night TWD with Denise and me, yours truly. We're going to finish up The Walking Dead with the Part 2 season finale podcast. It's going to be awesome. Wednesday morning, you have Rolling in the Oldies with Lisa Trujillo. It's an awesome podcast. Make sure you check it out. She plays all the old school. She plays all the 50s, 60s, early 70s. If you like the oldies, make sure you check out her podcast. It is awesome. So it's going to be great. And then also Wednesday night you have the Awesome Lounge. Yeah, I got the thanks. The Why the Blues, yeah, with Dave. I got it. I didn't miss it this time. Usually I miss it, Chris, but I said it. I said it right before TWD. Usually I say TWD and then I go back to Why the Blues, but I did it right this time. I'm pretty crazy at that. But anyway, the Lounge on Wednesday night with D. Marie Love and Anissa. Make sure you check it out. It's all the new entertainment. It is so cool. Make sure you check it out. It's a great podcast. And then Thursdays we have Lisa for one more week. She's going to be doing her Thursday podcast. And then starting next Thursday, Cousin Dave is moving into Thursdays. So I just want to announce that tonight. Cousin Dave is moving into Thursdays. So he will no longer have the morning podcast. He's going to have the Thursday night podcast. He's going to take over for Lisa. So Lisa's still a podcaster. She's just going to move to a different night and do her Wednesday morning one. So yeah, Rockin' Invasion. That's what it's called, Rockin' Invasion. So we'll have the last week of Rockin' Invasion, and then as of next Thursday, Cousin Dave takes over Thursday with Why the Blues. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. And then Fridays you have the Awesome. This one is one of my favorites. I listen to every podcast. At first I wasn't listening to the whole podcast, but now he does so good at it. It's Freaks in the Basement with Chris Stevens. Make sure you check that out every Friday. It's a great podcast. Chris Stevens with Freaks in the Basement every Friday. Make sure to check that out. It's one of the best podcasts on the air. This podcast compete with anybody that's in the art of storytelling. So it's a great podcast to tune into. So make sure you tune into it and you enjoy it and you have a good time listening to it. It is a great podcast. Sports is tonight, Chris. It's kind of hard because the Broncos lost. So when the Broncos lose, it's everybody's feelings are still kind of hurt from the game Sunday. And then Saturday you got the Jam with IKE and Lisa Trujillo. We get down. We go from about 11 p.m. to about 3 or 4 in the morning. We play all the old school 70s, 80s, 90s. Make sure you tune in. It's a great time. We have a great time. All the old school. So make sure you tune into the Jam on Saturday night. So that's our week. So make sure you tune into the week. It's an awesome week of podcasting. It's an awesome week of podcasters. And then again, at the first of the year, we have 2 new podcasters starting. So be on the lookout for our 2 new podcasters. They'll be morning podcasters. So it's going to be fun. I can't wait till their podcast starts. And then Cousin Dave, just to let everybody know, he has a new co-host that he'll be bringing along pretty soon now. So that's going to be pretty fun to hear his co-host. So, like last week, there's not a lot to get into. The Broncos lost 16-3 against the New England Patriots. Like last week, there was really not a lot to say about the Bronco game. So it's like this week is kind of the same thing. When the Broncos win, we have a million things to talk about. How great this person played, how great that person played. So before I get into the recap, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the stats for that way. When I recap the game, everybody knows what I'm talking about when it comes to the stats. And I do want to say the defense played their butt off again. The defense is so awesome to watch, and they just keep coming up. Excuse me. They keep coming up short with the offense without a leader at quarterback. I know I'm gonna start getting all kinds of comments, people telling me stuff because I talk about our you need a leader at quarterback and every week. So I'm gonna bring up our stats real quick for the week. So you had Trevor Siemian, who actually had a pretty decent game. He had 1 interception, no touchdowns. Oh, thank you, Chris. I got the mess. I got your message. I'll talk about that with you in a little bit. Because as of the first of the year, we have the new podcasters coming in, and then we have the switch with Lisa and cousin Dave. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Trevor Siemian, who went 25 for 40 passes, and that's not a game manageable game, throwing the ball 40 times in the air. It's just not. It's just not a manageable game. If you're throwing the ball 40 times in the air, and it's just not. So 251 yards and 7.1 yards per attempt. See, under 10 yards attempt, that's just like, I think that's I think it's number 30 when I was looking it up earlier. I was looking at the stats. And another stat I want to bring up, he has the most batted balls in the league. The most batted down balls in the league. So it's pretty upsetting to know that your QB is gets the ball batted so many times. Gets the ball batted down so many times. Okay, so we want to get over to our Russian attack. You had Justin Forsett, who went for 10 for 37, who averaged 3.7 yards a carry, and his long was 13. And then you have Devontae Booker, who's coming along, but you got to remember, Devontae Booker is at his second half of the season now because he's a rookie and college is done by now. So the last 4 years, he's been done. Football's been over the last 8 years at this time. You know, if you talk about high school and college, so he's not going to run as hard as he normally would. Yeah, that was one of the questions I got, Chris, was do the Broncos need to go after a number 1 draft pick quarterback? That was one of my inboxes that somebody inboxed me. Or do we go after a veteran quarterback like a Tony Romo? I'm hoping to have enough time to get over into the questions. I had like over 100 comments, more than that. I probably had a couple hundred comments on this weekend's questions. So I'm gonna try to get back into them. And then you had Trevor Siemian, who went 1 for 4 yards, and I talked about that last week about his rushing stats from the season. So a rushing total with all the players, with all the rushers, you had 17 carries, 58 yards, 3.4 yards per carry. The longest was 13. So that's counting your quarterback and your 2 running backs, and we didn't have a 100-yard rusher. So that's tough to go into a game like to play the probably the number 1-2 team in the league with the Patriots, and to not even have 100-yard rusher. You combine all the rushers and you only have 58 yards. That's tough. So I want to get into the wide receiving real quick. Demaryius Thomas, who the last 2 weeks has really showed up. He's really played what his money's worth, what he's getting paid. He had 7 receptions for 91 yards. He averaged 13 yards per catch, and he had a 23-yard catch. And then you had E. Sanders, who went 3 for 48. And his came later in the game. He didn't catch anything to the second half. And then you had his longest at a 21-yard run. And then you had Harriman, the tight end, he got 2 receptions for 40 yards. And his long was 31. And they were making fun of him earlier. They were like, that was the first time he had he matched his whole yards for the season. Because, we're already in week 15 or whatever. And he matched his he matched all his yards for the season. So it's pretty interesting that they had brought that up. So